Welcome back to Why We Buy It. And today I want to talk about a watch that comes as a bit of a surprise to me. And it will probably come as a bit of a surprise to you as well, because this is a brand that I absolutely love. You could say it's my favorite Microbrand currently. And it's the third watch from this particular brand that I've purchased, but it won't be staying in my watch box. It's not for me. Now, that doesn't mean it isn't the watch for you, because this watch is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And immediately I recognized it as the kind of watch I would be wearing if I was going to work in an office setting every single day, which of course I don't do anymore. But there was a time where this watch would have been exactly the look I was after. And maybe at that time, it would have been the watch I kept. Only things have changed, and specifically to me, this watch will never work. In fact, no watch from this category will work for me. I'm talking about any watch from this particular category is now a no-go for me, and I didn't realize that until I wore this for a couple of weeks. And that's when the reality clicked that as much as I love this watch, it's never going to work for me. Today we're going to be talking about a watch from my favorite Microbrand, Wise. One of the most impeccably finished models, the ADX. And why it might not work for me, but it could work for you. Let's get into it. Now, right off the bat, I'd like to say the reason I purchased this watch is because Wise was having a sale on their website that is currently running. I mean, if you watch this when I upload the video, it might still be on, but I would double check. Go to www.wisetimepiece.com to see if the deal is going. But they had an additional 20% off if you bought two watches. I had already planned to purchase the Shades of Thailand, and if you haven't seen that review, it's already on the channel. Check it out. And wanted to get another watch with it, and I thought a GMT would be perfect, because if you follow our channel, you'll know that a big portion of this channel is travel, right? We do a lot of travel. And having a GMT just makes sense as a watch enthusiast. Now, I already have a Casio Oceanus T200, which has the multi-band 6 connectivity, and whenever I fly, I'm always wearing it, because when you land, wherever you happen to be, it's going to eventually switch over automatically to that time. So it's really the perfect travel watch. But I still wanted a true GMT because, one, I love the style and look of GMTs. I love the additional components that go into it. I love having the, in this case, 72-click bezel to adjust to whatever I'd like. This particular watch can give you 3 time zones at once, but I only really ever need 2. But I just love the look of it. And I had researched many affordable GMTs, and 1, I love Wise. I know what to expect from them. But 2, it was one of the most appealing designs of all the GMTs I looked at. So when this opportunity came up to save an additional 20% or so off of the purchase price, I thought, now's the time to do it. I had already decided I wanted the Shades of Thailand, so adding this in and getting that additional discount on both watches just made sense. So I went ahead and pulled the trigger. And even though I won't be keeping this watch, I'm going to have to end up selling it. And of course, like the majority of watches you sell today, I'm going to take a little bit of a hit on it, but whatever. That hit will probably be covered by the 20% discount and sale price that the watch was on. So I'll end up probably coming pretty close to breaking even on this. But what surprised me about this watch, and the reason I eventually decided it's not for me, has nothing to do with the watch design, has nothing to do with the watch finishing, has nothing to do with the watch fit. As you can see here, it fits my wrist perfectly, right? I got a 7¼ inch wrist, and this fits absolutely perfectly. You know, at the time, you could not get it on the metal strap. You could only get it on the rubber, which I'm actually kind of glad it came on the rubber. As much as it's nice to have the bracelet, I'm not really a bracelet guy. If you've watched some of my watch videos, you may already know that. So it would have been nice to have the blingy bracelet to go with it, but it wasn't like I was really going to end up wearing it on the bracelet most of the time, to be honest, if I decided to keep it. This rubber strap fits perfect, very comfortable. So this would have been the really the strap of choice that I'd wear it on if I kept this watch. But the reason I'm decided against it isn't about the watch, it's about me. And you'll notice in all my videos I'm wearing glasses. My eyes are messed up. Okay, I was born with very terrible vision, multiple vision problems, and my prescription is significant, to put it mildly, right? There are a number of different frame styles and such that I couldn't even buy because of my prescription. For the longest time, for the majority of my life, they didn't make contact lenses that could handle my prescription. So as a result of that, I never tried them. And even though it's available now because technology has improved, it's not something I'm ever going to switch to because I'm so used to wearing glasses. But my eyes have kind of leveled off to where they're at. But where they're at, the most comfortable way for me to kind of get around wearing glasses, I've found, is not with progressives, which is a form of lens that allows you to see distance, near, and close by changing the angle you look through the lens. But I go with two different pairs of glasses. I have glasses for close-up view, which I decided to go with because I do so much editing for videos and such like this. I'm on the computer so many hours of a day that it's nice to have something that's just perfectly designed for me to see optimally at a close distance. And then I have the glasses I'm wearing now, which are my distance glasses, which you can use for regular everyday use, right? But nothing up close. But as a result of that, these are the glasses I wear most often when I'm traveling or when I'm out and about. And with these glasses, I can't read a GMT. I can't. The GMT watch actually messes me up, right? And it's for more than just reading, say, a second time zone. It's not even about that. It's the fact that the bezel is in the 24-hour configuration, and sometimes that will fool me because I'll glance down at my watch for the time, and when it happens most often, I've noticed, is when it's, say, 1:30 in the afternoon, and automatically, because it's, at the half past or beyond that, my eyes see the 2 before they see the indice. And I am thinking it's 2:30, 2:40, 2:45, whatever it may be. I end up thinking that way because I'm so used to glancing at watches quickly and just getting the time. But with that 24-hour bezel, it can fool me at times depending on what time of day it is. And then looking at the GMT hand, it becomes almost embarrassing, right? To actually take advantage of the second time zone, I got to look below my glasses to get a proper view, and it just takes me from feeling old to even older. That's that's the result of it. So it didn't take long. It literally took like a week or so for me to realize, wow, as much as I love GMTs, I love the look of GMTs, and I admire this watch when it's not on wrist often. It's a beautiful watch. I especially love the black and gray colorway I went with because it's understated but still makes a statement, right? It still has that very professional look. Like I said, this would be the perfect watch in a business atmosphere, right? It has that look. It's almost like a boardroom look to it. It looks very professional, right? And I love that. But I like a watch to be legible, right? I've mentioned this in practically every one of my watch videos. Legibility is a big thing for me. And the legibility is not only difficult with the GMT function, it becomes difficult with the everyday function, and that's just illegible. It's why I don't own skeleton-faced watches. And I love the look of skeleton-faced watches. Some skeleton-faced watches are some of my favorite in appearance, right? If you just want a picture of a watch to hang on your wall, a skeleton dial, fantastic in some cases. It just pops, looks amazing, but it's not very legible. So I don't own any. I owned one many, many years ago, and that's when I realized, I can't own a skeleton dial watch. I can't read it. It bugs my eyes out. And now I know I can't own a GMT watch, and it's kind of sad, to be honest, because I love the way they look. It's disappointing for me. But that's the reality. That's why this watch won't ever make it into my 6-watch collection, which I think is going to become an 8-watch collection because it's getting more difficult with this channel especially. I'm looking at so many watches that I'm interested in and think I should probably do some sort of review on it as to why I would buy it. So I think I'm going to have to up it to 8, but we'll see where that goes, right? Maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see. But this won't be part of it. This won't be one of them. Now, getting back to the watch, it's a fantastic piece of technology on your wrist. It really is. I love the bezel. It's firm, but still easy to rotate. It's easy to get at the crown. Again, screw down crown, 200 meters of water resistance. Like, this is a true traveler's GMT. It's got the Miyota 9075 movement in it, so you can operate the primary hour hand individually, forwards or backwards, to change the date. And this has been mentioned in a number of the other ADX reviews, but they even put the little Easter egg in there when it gets to the 10th of the month. It's the Roman numeral X as opposed to number 10, which is, just a nice touch. You can choose from a number of different colors of 24-hour hand, depending on what your interests are. I went with the orange because my father's from the Netherlands, and anybody who knows the Netherlands soccer team, it's all about the orange, right? So the wave of orange. So I've always been kind of attracted to the orange color since I was a kid. So adding that little splash of orange in the 24-hour hand was just perfect to me. Like, there's so much that's perfect about this watch that I wish it would make the cut. But again, a watch has got to be legible for me. It just has to be legible. And there are so many watches that are beautiful on paper or, picture-wise on the internet that I'll never purchase because they're illegible. I won't ever buy a watch that doesn't have indices, right? These sterile faces with just hands and a beautiful dial material or whatever, it'll never make it in my collection because I want the indices to be there so it's very easy to read at just a glance, right? I had a conversation with a gentleman a couple of days ago. We were at the Bulova 150 years of Bulova event, right? Their anniversary, their sesquicentennial. And we were talking watches, of course, because everyone there was primarily watch enthusiasts. And we were talking about what attracts us to specific watches and such. And I mean, legibility, I'm not the only one. Okay, I'm not the only one. It's something that a true watch enthusiast wants, in my opinion. And in this case, he agreed with me, because what makes watches special, especially mechanical watches, is that unlike a smartwatch, which is kind of like the elephant in the room when it comes to the future of timepieces, is that a smartwatch has you going back to it constantly, all the time, all day, right? A watch I can wear all day and maybe look at it 3 or 4 times in the day. It's almost like it's not there until it absolutely has to be, right? A well-fitted, well-weighted watch with a nice strap disappears on your wrist. It doesn't become a burden like a smartwatch can be. It's just that one time you're thinking, oh, how long is it till lunch? Snap, take a look, and and you're like, okay, 30 minutes, perfect. It's one of the beauties of a watch. It's one of the things that makes it special to me, is the fact that it's only there when you need it. And otherwise, it's just a beautiful accessory to your everyday wear. And this is that. It really is. With the additional GMT functions so that when you're away, you could do that snap check and figure out what time is it at home compared to what time it is here. Only I can't, because my eyes won't let me, unfortunately. But if you're looking for that kind of watch, and you're looking for an affordable option that fights way above its weight class, the ADX is the one to go with, because it's exceptionally well made. It's absolutely beautiful. It's stunning, but not at the same time, not overstated. And it's got the Miyota 9075, which has now become a staple movement for GMT enthusiasts on a budget, right? Now, don't get yourselves wrong, it's still not a cheap watch, right? And coming into Canada because our dollar's a bit depressed, total cost on this watch, if you were to buy it on its own, after customs and taxes and such, would come in right around $1,000 is what you're looking at, right? So it's still not a cheap watch, but in comparison to other true GMTs from more recognizable manufacturers, it's a great price. And even amongst the Miyota 9075 community of GMTs, it's still a very good price. So if you're looking for that one watch that you want as a travel companion, but also perfect for day-to-day use and at work, this is the one to go with. Just pick your favorite colorway. And there's a bunch of new limited edition, specially colored dials coming out as well. So check out the website again, www.wisetimepiece.com. There's some fantastic options on the way, depending on what your color preference is. You'll just have to wait a bit because they're in production now. Until next time, if you haven't subscribed yet, do us a solid. Subscribe to the channel. Give us an opportunity to grow. And we want to grow with you. And if you haven't, please, now's the time to subscribe because we're planning maybe a couple of giveaways at Christmas time and it's just for subscribers. So get on board. Until next time.